As Tom Tugendhat is being lined up as an alternative to Penny Mordaunt as a sort of unity candidate who's going to lead the Conservative Party into the next election and election failure, probably, or at least a hung parliament, Rishi Sunak is still chirping on like a little like a little budgerigar fluttering around the cage, saying that the British economy has really turned the corner. Yes, it's better. It's better. Hope, hope, hope. And on Monday, he was in Coventry saying his economic plan was working. And we've really turned the corner at the start of this year. Well, you can keep repeating this mantra as much as you like, but until people feel it in their pockets, it's not going to mean anything. People still feel that the cost of living crisis is the most pressing issue. So what about, when you start talking about, oh, Britain's economy has really turned the corner, what does that mean for the cost of my groceries? What does that mean for the cost of my mortgage, which is still skyrocketed like a pocketed, like something out of Willy Wonka. My mortgage is still almost doubled because of the insanity of Liz Truss. What has Rishi Sunak done to repair that damage caused by one of his associates, who he still keeps in the party? She with her hands, and he with his promises, and it's still a hand job. It means absolutely nothing. And ministers are now lining up to say that, oh, there's a lot of angst. Well, of course there's a lot of angst, because they have caused it. They have caused it. It's not about whether or not Rishi Sunak can lead the Conservative government into success. It's about recognising the damage which this Conservative government has actually inflicted on ordinary people, and that is why it will be punished in the polls. And it's not that Labour has anything better to offer. Labour has nothing better to offer, as far as I can see. Even its plan on taxing public schools, private education, eventually, there's now talk. There was an article yesterday saying that in the end, that's going to cost us more, because students will then find that their parents can't pay the fees. They'll be back into the state education system. The state education system can barely cope anyway with the numbers, and this will be the straw on the camel's back, and people will be frustrated. These individuals will be coming into state education, realizing actually the quality of teaching is much the same, but the number of children in a classroom is too great. And in the end, this is a class warfare bit of jiggery-pokery that shouldn't even be considered. It's not a solution. It's like banning fox hunting. It's a waste of time. To make a point, what sort of point? Egalitarianism, everyone is equal. That's great if everyone is equal up here. But bringing everybody down here, that's not equality, that's poverty, and that's failure. It wouldn't be so difficult. It wouldn't be so difficult to reform our education, and then everyone could be equal. It wouldn't be so difficult. And part of the reform would have to be to recognise that this conveyor belt Model T, Ford Model T system that we've got, where education is measured by exam output and monitored by external agencies like Ofcom, is wrong. Education is about empowering students. So empower the students and stop all this monitoring with nebulous organizations and nebulous exams. If you don't trust the teachers to do the job, and if you don't trust the students to know what they want, then what is the point of imposing exams and imposing Ofcom from above? It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked in 60, 70 years, because our education system has actually declined. And every part of that education system is crumbling. It's not about money. It's about the methodology. The methodology is wrong. And I know I'm in the middle of it. And I've gone through a number of Ofcom inspections, and is it Ofcom? Ofsted inspections. I've said Ofcom all the way through, haven't I? Ofcom is as bad as Ofsted. And Ofsted inspections. I've been through a number of them, and I found them appalling, and I didn't see the value in any of them. And in each one I think I went through, we had wonderful results. But why go through that stress and that facade simply to get the results which you know are there in the first place? And actually, from my point of view, I would say that we weren't helping the lower achievers who were struggling to get the best possible results in their exams, because there are better ways of measuring their achievement, and there are better ways of encouraging their achievement. And doing an exam is not necessarily the best way forward. We, in the modern age, where you can put your finger on a computer and it will give you information, an exam is not the solution. Knowing where to find the information rather than being examined on how much you can retain, how much you can memorize. I think there is a role for memory, and memory tricks are wonderful tricks. We should be teaching those rather than pretending that everybody understands some sort of rote learning, even if we are playing to some sort of experiential education system. We are saying one thing and we are measuring another. And that fundamentally is the problem with our education system.